Well, today we're going to really focus on the pregnant body and back pain and how to relieve it. Today I have with me Cindy. Cindy, we're going to get started laying down. So come onto your back, bend your knees, and open up your feet a little bit wider than hips distance. Press your palms into the ground and then slowly bridge up your hips. I want you to pause here for a moment and really squeeze into your glutes, hugging your baby in. What we're doing here to start is really level setting through the pelvis. So glutes on, core on. We're just going to do some spinal rolls here. So one vertebrae at a time, roll all the way back down to the ground, really slowly, start with the upper back, mid back, and low back. And at the bottom, you're going to untuck your tailbone and relax your glutes. And then slowly squeeze into your glutes, tuck your tailbone under, and slowly lift up. Yeah. And then we're going to roll back down. We'll do this a couple of times. And while you're doing this, think about keeping your low back nice and long here. Really keeping the spine long and then working within the glutes. So starting to squeeze the glutes as you lift up. And then as you lower back down, you're going to release the glutes at the bottom. And then while we're doing this, we'll just pull the left wrist up and we'll pull back with our right fingertips as you continue to lift and lower. Just giving our wrists a little bit of a break here and then roll back down. Awesome. One more, just like this, and then we'll switch wrists. Lift. And then lower. And then you can lower your hips all the way down, lower your hands down, and we'll bring our arms out like a T. Open up your feet a little bit wider here, and then drop your knees over to the right. Yeah, flex your toes, and then push your left knee forward here, squeezing into the glute, rolling the hip forward just a little bit here, and you should feel this nice big stretch all the way down the left side of the body. And breathe. Yeah, deep breaths. And then we'll come up through center and then all the way over to the left. Flex the toes and then draw that right knee forward. And really reach with the fingertips to feel this nice big stretch here. Yeah. Feel real nice in your low back on the right side of your body. All right, let's come all the way up and then we'll roll over to our side and come up and over to a tabletop position. So shoulders snap over the wrists. I want you to walk your knees in just a little bit more in front of your hips here so your low back is nice and long, and then hug your baby in so your spine is nice and tall. We're going to find some spinal articulation. So starting with your tailbone, I want you to tuck your tailbone and one vertebrae at a time. Start to come to your cat pose. Really hug your baby in as you lift through the chest, head and neck come last. And then start with your tailbone again. So one vertebrae at a time coming all the way forward. Head comes last up to your cow. Yeah, and then we'll continue with this. So nice and slow as we move, really lengthening through the spine, and then slowly coming back out. Awesome, and breathe. Continue with this. Really move nice and slow here. And then come back forward. Two more, just like this. Awesome. Really push through those hands, separate those shoulder blades, and then as you come forward, keep the back of the neck nice and long. Come back to a neutral spine here, and then tuck your toes under, and we'll lift into a down dog. I'm going to have you open up your feet a little bit wider here, and then bend into your knees a little bit. And as you do so, think about reaching your hips up and really lengthening through the spine. The more you bend your knees, the more you're going to feel this relax here and release here in your low back. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. And big breath out. Awesome. One more just like this. Awesome. You're going to step your left foot forward. Step it to the outside of your foot and then lower to your right knee. And we're going to come up for a little one so you can slowly put your hands onto your thighs and press yourself up. You want the right knee in just a little bit here so you have your shoulders, your hips, and your knee all stacked over here. Toes can be tucked or untucked depending on how you feel. Think about drawing your right knee and your left heel together, and you'll feel this psoas muscle that kind of wraps around your baby, as well as your hip flexor turn on. We really want to find some length here in the spine. So bring one hand to your baby, one hand to your low back, and you're going to hug the baby in as you squeeze into the glutes, and you'll feel this nice big relief here. Big breath in, big breath out. Big breath in, big breath out. Awesome, now bring both hands to your left thigh. I want you to lean into your left thigh, tuck your back toes under, and we're gonna come up to a stand. So you can lift the back knee and then step it forward. Full body stretch, reach your arms up, lift your ribs up. Can you bend your knees a little bit here and tuck your tailbone under so your spine becomes really long. Exhale, hinge and fold. So you can bring your fingertips all the way down to the ground, or if you have blocks, you can bring them down. Step your left toes back. Lower to your left knee. You can untuck your toes as you come back up to that low lunge. And take a moment to breathe here. Pull the right heel back towards the left knee. Yes, then one hand to the belly, one hand to the low back. Really smooth into your low back as you hug your baby in to feel your low back. Feel your back nice and long and nice and strong here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Awesome. 2 more breaths here in this pose. Really think about lifting the ribs up. Awesome, last one. Bring your hands down to the inside of your right foot. We're gonna slide the right foot back for our tabletop. Yeah, and we're gonna find that cat and cow. So start with the tailbone, slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lift into those shoulders. This time, lift up a little bit higher, pushing through those shoulder blades, and then come forward to your cow pose. Be gentle here on the cow. And then push into a little bit of a cat here. And then tuck your toes back under and lift back for another down dog. Bend the knees a lot here, open up the feet wide, and just take a little bit of sway here from side to side, getting into those hips. Yeah, big breath in, big breath out. Awesome, one more. This time we'll step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, and we'll come back to that low lunge again. Right hand's going to slide back to your low back again. So we're coming back up to the top. Yep, and then this time reach your left arm really high. So right hand to your low back, other hands. Remember, yoga is just a big test. Push into your low back, hug your baby in, and then reach your left fingertips a little bit higher. Take your gaze over to your right hip, and then find a slight side bend here. Really think about pushing down through this left knee to reach up a little bit higher, and then a little bit further over. Yeah. And then squeeze your hips together to stabilize. Awesome. We'll come back to center. Bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. We're going to tuck our back toes under, and we're going to turn to the left side of the mat. Yeah, and then turn your toes in here, bend your knees, and we're just going to find a small sway side to side. So we're in a modified goddess pose. Really think about hugging your baby and keeping your spine tall. So just like Cindy is here, you should be able to balance a tray here on your back. If this becomes too much, you can start to work your hands to your thighs and do the same thing here, just finding a sway from side to side. So getting into the hips, getting into the low back. Awesome. And then we'll slowly work our way all the way up. So if your hands are down your thighs, you're bringing into your thighs. And then we're coming to this goddess pose right in through center. If you want, you can walk your knees in just a little bit. And think about sitting upright. So I'm going to have you lift your chest higher and then tuck your tailbone under. So you're hugging that baby in again, spine nice and tall. Bring your arms back behind you, and we're just going to roll the shoulders out while we're here. Breathing in and breathing out. How you feeling? Okay. Good. Awesome. Big breaths here. Awesome. We're here for 3, 2, 1. We'll turn back towards that right leg. We'll re-bend the left knee back down to the ground. Left hand's going to plant. You're going to open up your hand really wide so there's a lot of space between your shoulder and your knee. And take a little bit of a twist here to the right here. Big breath in. Big breath out. You can take your gaze down and maybe drop your ear towards your shoulder, and you'll feel this nice big neck stretch. Really think about hugging your baby and squeezing your glutes in here to stabilize. Awesome. Bring your top hand back down to the ground. Slide your right toes back again. cat and cow. So really think about that spinal articulation, starting with your cat. Really push through the floor. You should feel more space here. And then come forward to your cow. Yeah, and then cat and cow. Come to a little bit of a cat here, and then lift back up into your down dog. Awesome, big breath in. Big breath out. Really think about lifting those hips up towards the sky. Let's do the other side. So left foot steps forward. Step to the outside of your hand. Lower to the right knee and rise back up for that low lunge. Yeah, nice and slow. Left hand to the low back. Right arm reaches up. And then push into your glutes as you hug your baby in. Lift that right shoulder a little bit higher and then take that side bend to the side. Yeah, so you're giving yourself some space to be, space to breathe, as you really reach through those fingertips. Awesome, big breath in, big breath out. Big breath in, big breath out. Awesome, we'll come back to center. Bring both hands down to the inside of your left foot, and then turn to the right. Tuck your right toes under, and we're in that low goddess pose again. This time you can have you stay still. Keep a bend into your knees, and then walk your fingertips as far forward as you can. If it feels okay, you can relax your head and feel this nice big pull here. Think about pushing your butt back, really pressing down through your heels to feel this nice big stretch in the back. Should feel like some good relief here. Yeah? Yeah. Awesome. Walk the hands in slowly and then turn back to the front. We'll lower to that right knee. Right hand is wide here, and then twist to the left. Yeah, you're giving your belly, giving your baby space to breathe, and then relax your head down. Hug the hips in. Keep the spine really tall here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Awesome. One more. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hand down, step back to your tabletop again. Walk your knees in really far forward this time, so as far as you can here, and pause. So depending on how big your baby is or where you're at in your pregnancy, it might not be far at all. Now I just want you to push into your hands and round your back like you would in a cat pose, but really push in here. So push into my hand, push into those shoulders, and then just come back to a neutral spine. Yeah, and then we'll push. Yeah, and then come back to neutral. Two more just like this. Push, really separate those shoulder blades. Can you lift up a little bit higher? And then come back to neutral. Awesome, one more. Push. And then come back to neutral. Awesome, open up your feet a little bit wider here. And then I'm going to have you bring your toes together, child's pose. Press your hips back and breathe. Walk those fingertips forward. And depending on how you feel, you can always bring your chest all the way down to the ground, just like Cindy did here. You can always put a blanket, a pillow, a bolster, some blocks underneath you to support you and breathe. Start to deepen your breath. Start to feel your whole body relax here for a second. Awesome, then we're going to slowly press ourselves up. And we're going to roll down to our side. So whatever that looks like for you, so you can bring your hips over to one side. And we'll just extend one arm out as we slowly lower down. A little bit of a different shavasana here. Again, you can kind of stay like this just in hanging out. Or if you have a bolster available to you or a pillow, you can put part of the bolster between your knees and you can just kind of hug it here. Using that bottom arm as a pillow, we're just going to take a moment to breathe. So you can close your eyes. If you want, you can pause the video and hang out here. You can stay as long as you want or for as little as you want. But really see if you can relax. See if you can feel the base of your spine. And on your next exhale, feel the base of the spine, and then as you inhale, feel one vertebrae at a time as it moves up, so moving through the low back, the mid back, and then the upper back. And then as you exhale, feel the breath move from the upper back to the low back, nice and slow. And when you're ready, we're going to remove whatever is in front of you. And then just wiggle your fingers and your toes for a second. And then however long it takes and whatever way feels good, press yourself up to a seat. Spine nice and tall. Bring our hands, one to our heart, one to our belly. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us. If you could please subscribe to our channel for more prenatal yoga classes, or give us a like or comment below on what you want to see more of.